our SWAT guys. We got a little Homeland Security down here. The horns are a-honking down here in Buffalo. How's that picture quality out here?
This guy's giving me a thumbs up. That cop was giving me a thumbs up, bro.
This cop over here just gave us a thumbs up for the Stop the Mask mandate tour. Head up to the heart of this thing. Let's take a look at some of these signs out here.
Wife did not have 3 kids. Or anyone in the government. I have been fighting last summer when our schools were not going to be allowed to happen. When kids were told to get masks. When remote learning was a disaster. And we have to continue onward as we go forward. They're upstairs looking down. They're over there looking down, and they see this large crowd. All of a sudden, they have to start thinking that just because their friends think one way, there's a whole hell of a lot of people who think differently. That's why we're here to show and strength. We have to say, you have been saying, society has been saying that natural immunity works. That children should be in school full-time, learning with their teachers and with their friends, and that 34,000 healthcare workers never, ever should have lost their jobs. Nobody lost their job or their livelihood because they made a personal choice not to get a COVID vaccination. That's your choice. Your own civil liberty. We will always stand over the tyranny of any government. We have to keep this fight up. One thing they hate, being government hates, get on the couch, let their voices be heard. And let me tell you, you're letting your voices be heard. We have to get louder and make sure we, the people, at the end of the day, are in charge of our Constitution, since those in government seem not to care about the Constitution. So I am begging you, for all the kids out there, my kids, your kids, keep this up. Keep it up. It is your choice as parents to decide who should raise your kids and what medicines or vaccinations you put in their bodies. In your bodies. It is our body, our choice, I was told, for so long, and now all of a sudden, it's not. So, we're here today to lend support. I am running for governor, as I did against Cuomo and call that guy. Who would think that Kathy Spiteful is worse than Andrew Cuomo? She's certainly planted herself on the far left with the defund the police, with the radicals in New York City trying to take over our state, and we're going to push back, and we're going to win. And all of these mandates end on day one of an Astorino administration. Let's keep up the fight. We're having a big rally throughout the state today. We're having a big rally in Westchester where I live and where I was county executive. And we will continue this fight until we win. And we're going to win not only at the ballot box, but we're going to fix this state, and we're going to throw out the Kathy Hochul's and her ilk who want to control everything about our lives. Thank you for being true patriots, for being great citizens, and thank you for your support for the truckers in Canada who are fighting the fight as well, not only in their country, but for us here as well. Let's give the truckers a hug. Hug! God bless you. Thank you. We've got some lawn signs if you want to take them on the way home, and make sure you get involved. And for our campaign, go to robastorino.com, sign up to volunteer, and let's let the Army be heard. Thank you, and God bless you.
I'm super glad that everybody quieted down because we have a sound issue, as you can tell. The next woman who's coming up to speak, a lot of you who follow grassroots organizations may have heard of her. She came all the way from Franklinville. She runs a Facebook page called Freedom Lovers of Franklinville. Give it up for Reese Perry!
Can you hear me? Very hard act to follow. Something coming from here, state governor. As she said, I'm just a very small grassroots organization. I started out in Franklinville, which is Cattaraugus County. I'm just like all of you. COVID hit, and I got angry. I wasn't scared. I wasn't sad. And I just watched as the weeks went by, these things falling apart. Little by little, them gaining more and more control. And I just said, that's enough. I'm done. I started a Facebook, got a following, started organizing meetings, going meeting to meeting to stay informed and then spread that information out by day. Again, our numbers are small out where I live, so it takes a lot of convincing to kind of get us all to join and come together. So we're going to let people share and see how these small grassroots organizations to just keep everybody informed and knowledgeable of what is going on and what we can do to fight it. Again, I'm just like the rest of you, but I just had enough. So your part, wherever you're at, even if it's small, it's really important because that's one of my biggest fights. I pulled my kids back in November because I still made school districts. I'm homeschooling, but you bet your butt I am still at those board meetings. I'm still fighting for all the rest of those kids. Fight for those kids. They are our future.
This is about mask mandates.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Reese. Okay, you guys, we gotta get the podium out here because we have a superstar. We have another speaker, and this speaker actually literally just went into this building to serve Mark Poloncarz and Gal Burstein with papers. No, he did not get shot because it was not at Mark Poloncarz's house. This is a safe place. Mark Poloncarz's house was like Warzone 101 apparently. So give it up for attorney Jim Ostrowski!
This at 3 a.m. I fell asleep to get these masks off of our children. It's just not in the trash cans. For 2 years, they have lied to us all the time about everything. Nothing they did to stop the virus worked. Everything they did failed. The things that would have worked, they either lied about it, ignored it, or suppressed it. As Sarah Brightman said, it's time to say goodbye to the lockdown. It's time to take the masks off our kids and off our own faces. It's time for local businesses, Wegmans, to stop forcing their long-suffering employees to wear masks without work. If they don't, boycott them. It's time to end the vaccine mandates. It's time to restore free speech and tolerate dissent. It's time to restore free speech and tolerate dissent about medical and scientific issues. That's how science works. They said 2 weeks to flatten the curve, but after 2 weeks of this, 2 years of this torture, it's time to flatten the political class. The political class runs the government, but they think they run the country. They are sadly deluded. We've been very civilized, very reasonable, very calm. Frankly, we've been too calm, too passive. Too many people have sat on the sidelines. They shut down and locked down our society, ruined our economy, deprived our young people of the youth that we had. And what did we do? We politely asked them to stop. And we politely went to court. And we politely asked the judges to make them stop. And we had some rallies and asked them to stop. We wrote books calling this a crime against humanity and asked them to stop. And the politicians ignored us. And the media they control ignored us. And the judges they control and the judges they appointed ignored us. So it became time to take the gloves off. No more Mr. Nice Guys and Gals. You see, the political class runs the government, and they think they run everything. Big mistake. The political class, please. The political class may run the government. Please. The political class may run the government, the courts, the bureaucracy, the state-controlled media, social media, the schools, the churches, the colleges. The left progressives have, in fact, seized control of virtually every idea-disseminating institution in American society. But, and this is the biggest but of all time, the political class doesn't control us. The political class doesn't control the working class. The political class runs the government, but political power can melt away very quickly when the working class wakes up. Because there are more of us than there are of them. And their power is really just an illusion, a figment of their imagination. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They need us more than we need them. Why? Because we make things. And they take the things that leave. They take the things that we make. They need us more than we need them. In fact, this is the amazing truth that people are beginning to finally grasp. We don't need them at all. Who needs a bunch of lying, parasitic bullies? So during the lockdown, the swells did nothing but play on their MacBook Pros and Zoom calls. The lawyers did almost nothing, marking a sharp decline from the American Revolution that was led by lawyers. Most doctors went along with big pharma and big medicine. The universities and the media supported the lockdown. Most religious leaders, sadly, including my own Catholic Church, were AWOL. So the political class and their allies and the left progressives control all these powerful institutions, but guess what? They don't control the working class. They don't control the people who make things, the people who grow things, and the people who move things from one place to another. The people who wear uniforms and do jobs that you can't do in a MacBook Pro. Like, just by way of example, the nurses. saints. Their entire profession is a corporal work of mercy. And I think the nurses started the counterattack. They woke us out of our long slumber. Many of them resisted the vaccine mandate, forcing the political class to betray the heroes of the early days of the pandemic by firing people who cared for the sick and dying, and who know 50 times more about medicine than some creepy politician who knows nothing about medicine. He got into office because another creepy politician who knows nothing about medicine couldn't keep his hands off his staff. Here's to the nurses. All our so-called leaders, they're behind me, in every profession failed us, but the nurses stood up and led the way and started the counter-revolution. Then another group of workers picked up the momentum. Like Atlas, the truckers carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and the truckers shrugged, and Canada came to a grinding halt. The political class runs the government, but they don't control the working class, and the working class runs the world. The political class controls just about everything, but they don't control us. They need us more than we need them, which is not at all. The great Victor Hugo said, "Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come." Here's the idea. End the lockdown or we shut you down. The working class will not back down. So the political class must, or face openly. If the lockdown doesn't end, and all of its victims restored to their jobs, like my friend who's going to say, then this truck convoy will grow and grow, and expand, and turn into a general strike, after which the working class will prevail, because they need us more than we need them, and we don't need them at all. Thank you.
A lot more kids with signs than this here.
Nico! Come on!
Oh shit, that's a city truck. There's hundreds of kids here with signs, this ain't all of them.
When a lot of people didn't survive that genocide. And my
worked with him in a factory, and he looked at him one day and he said, "How did you survive that genocide? When almost everyone else in your village was killed."
Hit that thumbs up if you guys like freedom.
"When the government told me to go that way, I went that way."
So the moral of the story here is governments are not always here to look out for people's best interests. Unfortunately, we've come to that point in the United States where the government is not looking out for the best interests of us people. I would like you all to open your eyes and see how damaging our current government leaders really are. The children are the ones who should not be wearing masks. They're the least at risk for this virus. And yet they are the ones who are the last ones wearing masks. So the founding fathers in this country, when they were establishing this country, their biggest goal was they wanted to make sure that one person didn't gain too much power. So if the founding fathers' goal was reached, how is someone like Kathy Hochul able to put me out of work because I refuse to test weekly for a virus that I'm already immune to? How does she override legislative laws like the 3020A law that are protecting tenured teachers? Where is due process anymore? I have been on unpaid leave since October, and now my employer wants to fire me. I really honestly hope that they go through with that. I hope they bring these 3020A charges against me, and I would like for the whole process to be made public with all of you present. I would love the press to cover the event and to see exactly how poorly they're treating their teachers, and then think about if they're treating their own teachers that poorly, how are they treating your children? The way that they're continuing to harass me and attempt to destroy me personally is unbelievable. They took cell phones from my coworkers and they used text messages in their cell phones against me in the investigation at work. That is nothing less than communist. But my question today is, where are all the other teachers? Why are they not standing up with us today and saying, take the masks off the children? So, teachers, stand up. You could put an end to this tomorrow if you decided that you weren't going to go teach a bunch of kids that had to be muzzled. So why are they able to continue to force these masks on the children in schools? Because the teachers are allowing it. How long are the teachers going to continue to tolerate this before somebody grows a spine and stands up? The CDC says that these masks, these cloth masks, are useless in preventing COVID, but yet Hochul and her henchmen are forcing them on our children. Why? It is because they want to create a generation of rule followers. And we, the people standing here right now, are not rule followers, and our children will not be rule followers either. Especially when your rules are absolutely ridiculous. So let's see how this goes with the teachers in New York State. Let's see who's going to stand up to all of this. So far, it's been very few teachers, I'll tell you that much. So, the government is looking out and they're seeing who are the critical thinkers.
I did not see that
who
coming.
are the people who have spines in this country. Those are the people we need to go after. And that's what they're doing. They're firing you from your jobs. They're taking your livelihoods from you. And we have to put an end to this. My union, which is not so great, told me last week that they are refusing in writing to file any grievances for my unpaid leave for not testing. My blood work saying that I'm immune to COVID doesn't allow me to continue teaching. That tells you something here is pretty fishy. Talk about a failure to represent. These unions are doing nothing. What we are facing daily is discrimination of the unvaxxed. Everywhere that you look, discrimination has become commonplace. What happened to our freedoms? What happened to medical choice? What happened to informed consent, bodily autonomy? Our fundamental rights are being stripped, and they're forcing us to take these unsuccessful experimental drug injections, or else you're going to be discriminated against daily. How much can you take, America? How far will you continue to be pushed? I think we've found the line, and we are going to hold the line. We refuse to be treated as second-class citizens because we did not participate in mankind's largest scientific experiment ever. These testing protocols are discriminatory. The vaccinated are catching and spreading COVID daily, and yet they are not being tested. How is that okay? I suppose it is going to take something like the truckers' convoy to put an end to all of this tyranny. So God bless the truckers. The media will continue to lie to you. Big tech will continue to censor you. Big pharma will continue to poison you. And big government will continue to shackle you. The government in the school, through the schools, will continue to mask these children. But in the end, people like me and Jim and all these other speakers up here today will empower you. And empowerment and unity is what our government fears the most. Because when you know that you are not alone in how you feel, you are not wrong, you are valued, you are loved, and you are someone to be proud of, you will realize, and our government will realize, they have woken a sleeping monster that is taking. We will not take it anymore. We will stand together, we will speak, we will gather, we will celebrate, we will live, and we will break the shackles that are holding us. We are going to walk arm in arm together towards a new America. An America that actually loves its citizens, respects their choices. An America who honors their God-given rights and who seeks to enrich lives rather than destroy lives. We are the people. We are the strong people. We are the intelligent people. We are the loud people. And we are the defenders of our God-given rights. Do not tread on us. Do not mess with us, especially the mothers. We the people will survive. We the people will thrive, and we will not be defeated. Please love your neighbors. Look around you right now. These folks right here are the reason that we are not already locked up in camps for being unvaccinated. Because folks like you care enough to come to these events and to be vocal and to invite other people to come with you. We are the future. They are the future, and this is all about these children. Never stop fighting. Never give up. The truth will emerge. Freedom will prevail. And evil will be defeated.
He was still on the then, so he was probably there.
Reminding people who respect our country.
Buffalo, New York.
If I've been muzzled or if I stopped fighting because somebody told me to. These mandates are not about anything but about control. They are not doing anything but preventing our lives and from us living. So when you go and vote this year, remember who did this. Don't remember in the summer when you're free and you think they freed you. They didn't free you. They have imprisoned you for 2 years. Yep. Remember it when you go vote. Vote right. Stay free and keep fighting. Thank you to everyone and God bless. Okay, you guys, listen. We have like 3 more speakers, but hang on because we have a special speaker at the end that we just added, and it's a surprise. So don't leave.
Oh shit, is it auditing or accounting?
Speaker from the Women's Leadership Group for the People's Coalition of New York. She has been instrumental in helping plan these rallies, and because of her, our group even got involved. If you would like to know anything about our group, email us at ccnys@usa.com, the Constitutional Coalition of New York State. But I want to bring up Western New York Freedom Seekers founder, Liz Nixon, all the way from Jamestown. Give it up for Okay, I am not good at this.
Yes, you
From Chautauqua County. Can you hear me? Okay. Did you ever have a day when you were tired of standing up for the truth and wished all this craziness away? Well, that was yesterday for me. That is when God reminded me this battle is not mine, it is His. Come on, God said, stop your pity party and focus on me. I am the big picture. He reminded me that He created for such a time as this. And he knows how much we can handle. So I picked myself up, I brushed myself off, and I started all over again. Actually, I sat down to write what I was going to say to you today. And my husband laughed at me because I showed 1970s with the cards. Even though this battle with our government seems big, our God is so much bigger. Always remind yourself that God is going to pull us through, whether the outcome is good or bad. He has a plan. It is up to us to trust him. Everyone here is important. Your willingness to be here this morning shows you are strong, bold, and fearless. Focus on making a difference by being different from the world. Our children need us to stand up for their future. We can and will do it for them. A friend of mine who's here, I see her. She tried to explain to her son why she was taking a stand for freedom. At the end of their conversation, she told him that he is important in making positive change in the world for God, and that God calls him to be an agent of change. He was so excited to be called that. This rally is great. It encourages me, and I hope it encourages you to go home and continue to fight for your freedom in your town and be an agent of change. Okay, so you've heard from a bunch of women and one older distinguished gentleman, Jim Ostrowski. Now we're going to hear from our future. We have two guests here today who are young men who have been fighting tirelessly for freedom. I'm going to bring the first one up. His name is Jack Rafferty from Turning Point, USA.
Jack! Woo!
Shout, Jack! Come on!
Thank you, Nancy. Oh my gosh, what an amazing crowd we got today. No, we're good.
Right up on that thing. Come on, don't be scared of COVID.
I want to thank you all for coming out today. It takes a hell of a lot of courage to be here, doing what you're doing right now. I know we're doing God's work by fighting for our freedom. There's a lot happening right now, but you're all taking action as American citizens. Let's keep fighting like hell for our rights and liberties that we so deserve. Remember that these rights do not come from government, the Constitution, nor our founding fathers. They come right from God. God has been so good to us every day in this fight, and he blesses us with the courage and wisdom we all need to fight off evil and tyranny. We have a duty to fulfill as Americans, and our Canadian brothers and sisters are finally doing the same. I'm proud to represent Turning Point USA, the largest conservative youth organization on the planet. We're doing work in Buffalo and all of Western New York like you've never seen before.
Thank you!
I'm so blessed to have Nancy as a close friend in this fight and the Constitutional Coalition to be helping us out. I'm incredibly blessed to have my friend Owen join us today as well. Owen is a true fighter, and I've never seen anyone fight like this guy before. Very strong-willed and courageous, even in the face of evil. The David and Goliath moment.
Awesome.
I had the pleasure of attending the Williamsville Central School Board of Ed meeting on Tuesday, and I had the opportunity to call out those tyrants for what they are.
Proud of you, man. Love it.
I appreciate you. They're forcing masks on our children, and it's clear and blatant child abuse. It is dystopian and Orwellian. This is not about safety or our public health. This is strictly about politics. No child should ever have to go through what they went through these past 2 years. And right now, we're all rising up. To Mayor Deb Rogers, who saved the town of Willingsville by advocating for freedom of choice. We have openly defied the county mask mandate by offering people a choice. The left wants to call us fascist, racist, bigots, every word in the vocabulary you can imagine. But let me tell everyone right now, it doesn't mean anything. Do not back down.
Yeah.
They're scared of losing power, and I think we should make them scared. At the very beginning of this pandemic, I put trust in our leaders. They are responsible for all of this mess, and they will be all held accountable when justice is served and Fauci is thrown in jail. I put my mask on and I complied. We all thought this would be over in 15 days. Lock him up! 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 It has been 2 years now, and it is clear to me that their sick and twisted fantasy is to take over and take control of us.
That's right.
You know why these people are doing what they're doing, why they're removing the mandates? They're going to say, we beat COVID, and all this is the work of the Democrats, and they're all going to blame us. This is all for political reasons. They never cared about you, your children, or the ridiculous rules put in place. It was all for power, and now they expect to be voted in again just because the mandates are not popular amongst their voters. We will not let them win. We are going to elect strong constitutionalist candidates to office that represent conservative and true New York values. On behalf of Turning Point USA, we are fighting for the ideas that matter. We are fighting for liberty, equality, justice under the law, free markets, fiscal responsibility, and for small government.
Yes.
To Mark Kolonkars and all the public health bureaucrats, here is our contribution to your stupid mandates. Everyone, you must continue to fight for what you believe in, regardless of what that may be. We are here to gather as a voice of freedom, and the left is calling us authoritarian, even though we advocate for personal choice. Sounds backwards to me. But we are all fighting here in the biggest culture war this country has ever seen. I've lost all trust in public health system, so anytime that Fauci tells you we can't be out of the lockdowns, you know what the right thing to do is fight. Fight with the Canadian citizens who are rising up against Castro. Fight for liberty and justice. Stand up for your rights. Fight against tyranny. Fight against the establishment. Continue to take action in your communities. Go to school board meetings. Use your voice. Fight for our children. Fight for your God-given rights. Thank you.
Don't get antsy, don't leave. Think about the soldiers in the Revolutionary War and what they went through. You can stand here for a few minutes to hear from patriots, right? Okay, we're going to go on a march. We're also going to go on a march, so don't leave because we're doing that. Next speaker, this is second to last. This young man has a story to tell. His name is Owen Stevens, and he was kicked out of his college for tweeting a man is a man and a woman is a woman. He was removed from his classes. They told him he had to go to re-education classes, which he refused to do. When BLM came through and graffitied all over his school, he went and he painted over it USA. Give it up for Owen Stevens!
Thank you. My name is Owen Stevens, and my university, SUNY Geneseo, expelled me from every single one of my classes because I stood up to the LGBTQ and transgender indoctrination at my school. They demanded that I take part in re-education training and publicly apologize for my statements. It would have been easier to do what they had asked of me, and it would have been easier to be silent like every other kid. It would have been easier to remain in all of my classes and get the degree that I wanted. But just like all of you, I'm not interested in doing the easy thing and taking the road traveled by every single other American and college student. They were asking me to sacrifice everything I believed in, and they were asking me to sacrifice my freedom of expression and thought for their cult and their wicked schemes. And this is something that I will never do. I will never apologize for speaking the truth. I will never apologize for standing up for reason, and most importantly, my faith. I refuse to be bullied by people who have no common decency, reason, or justifications, and I refuse to apologize for my beautiful country, just like all of you I cherish and love. I refuse to admit anything that is untrue. I could have surrendered, but like all of you here, I would rather die than surrender the truth and my freedoms to wickedness and deceptions that threaten children's education and well-being in school. I chose to stand for my rights and my freedoms because they don't come from my university and they don't come from my government. They don't even come from the Constitution. Just like Jack said, my rights and your rights come from God. Therefore, I and we will never let anybody tell me what I can or cannot say or believe. If you believe that your rights come from the government, then tyranny will reign over you the rest of your life. These mask and vaccine mandates and lockdowns and the willingness of millions to give into them shows that our generations have lost their gratitude and no longer value freedom. Freedom is a value. You must value it. If you do not, it will be stripped away from you just like it has been in every single country that has lacked the love of the freedom that we in America have. The same tyranny that killed millions of Jews and others in the Holocaust, and that tyranny that killed tens of millions from evil communism is rearing its ugly head again, this time in the freest countries to ever exist. This Freedom Convoy is a historic event. It will be remembered for its impact. You will be remembered for your courage and for your love of freedom. We must fight. Liberty itself is at stake. A generation from now, you will tell your children and grandchildren either what freedom was or what the mandates were. Your rights do not come from the government, they come from God. Since it comes from God, it can never be taken away from you. Freedom belongs to you because you belong to the Lord. The government wants to control you. They want to put a mask on your face and on your children's face. They want to force a needle down your arm and into your bloodstream, a violation of our right to medical freedom and human decency. The government wants to own you, but you cannot own a child of God. This is not about anti-vax or pro-vax. This is about the freedom to choose. This is about the freedom to decide what is best for you and your family and your community. And together, as we unite our nations in defense of this freedom with prayer and trust in God, we will win. I am inspired by everybody here. This is awesome. I'm encouraged and I feel hope again for my future. They call my generation Generation Z, but I always choose to call my generation Generation Free. Together, we can ensure that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from this earth. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, real quick, remember Nurse Amanda. She has a new practice. It is a freedom-based practice in East Aurora on Main Street. Amanda Engler Family Practice. So even though she got fired, she's giving you guys options for health care. Real quick, somebody mentioned Mayor Deb. I think it was Jack. He mentioned Mayor Deb from Williamsville, the one who stood up to guard polling cars as far as the mask mandate. Every single one of you should be at her fundraiser Tuesday night at the Lamppost in Williamsville. I believe, hey, Gene, where are you? Nope, it's Tuesday. Gene! I don't know what time it's at, but we'll figure it out. What, 5:30 at the Lamppost in Williamsville? Let's get there to support Mayor Deb and have a great time. Also, before I bring up our last surprise...
Are you looking for me?
Yeah, 5:30?
I was working the crowd.
He's working the crowd. This is Gene. 5:30, the Lamppost, Mayor Deb.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Sing me a song.
5:30 to 7:30. Come see this guy if you want info. Also, before I bring up our last speaker, who is a surprise, and we do our march, I want to let everybody know that we have our monthly meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m. 140 Pound Road, Elma. We have a man who is going to possibly run against Mark Poloncarz. You do not want to miss it. We also have a representative from Audit New York coming to show us what they're doing as far as election integrity. Do not miss that meeting. So ladies and gentlemen, we already heard from a distinguished attorney who has tirelessly fought for freedoms for decades. We also have another attorney here today who has said nothing but grit and defeat Mark Poloncarz at every turn. Every time, Mark Poloncarz, this man is here. Give it up for Clyde
You know, I started this suing against these mandates about 18 months ago. One comfortable, one comfortable. Comfortable in this state is hard because our judiciary does not like overturning the Democratic governor. But last time, one against and Mark Poloncarz for the excessive overtime. Well, that one has you paid attention to someone who didn't want to be served. So, you know, that story's not done yet. I think we're covering overtime for taxpayers because she is not entitled to overtime. She gets a fixed salary set by the county legislature. The county legislature never set an overtime rate for her. So that's overtime now. I announced last week that I will be primary Chris Jacobs for Congress. I think we need people to stand up. They have been silent. Most of them voted to give Cuomo those unlimited emergency powers. So I hope everyone else comes out and people find candidates they want to run. I think we need to primary most of the sitting assemblymen and state senators, except for David. My boss overturned the nurse vaccine mandate. Fortunately, lost that, but we'll keep going. But thank you all for coming. She just said, I'll turn back over to Nancy.
Don't worry, that guy didn't say too much. marching to the square now.
Follow me in squad. Let's go! Oh, and don't forget to put your pennies in the wheelbarrow for my phone card.
Pennies in a wheelbarrow from Mark Pollen card. Go check that out.
You're welcome.
Pennies for polling card.
Look at the big one.
Pennies for polling card.
That's his baby bottle.
That's funny.
If I thought about it, we would put that
Yeah.
He said he can see
I don't know about the whole marketing thing last time. I don't know.
Thinking the same thing. Buffalo City Hall in the Federal Building. This is the Buffalo Police Headquarters.
We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply. No more threats. We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not
Nowhere to go.
We will not comply.
Right around the big traffic circle going for it. Shit, I didn't know I could just park my car down here in the middle of this thing. Official business. Right on Buffalo City Hall. I think they're playing the Canadian national anthem. It is probably a lot quieter than they expected it to be.